Yo, what's up guys? It's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today, talking about the LEC 2020 Summer Split Week 6 thoughts and opinions. So this week, the LEC took very big backlash from a partnership with Neom. Now, I don't know why this was such a big deal. I don't know, the overall circumstances of the situation as to why the LEC had a big backlash from their casters like Medic, Shocks, Dracos, Laurel. All the LEC on-screen talent really did not like this partnership, and then it prompted the LEC just about 4 hours later to end the partnership. So, I would like to know if you guys could educate me, all my EU fans. I'm a big G2 esports fan. G2 esports for life, baby. But, just educate me. I would like to know, because I was genuinely out of the loop as to the reason why this was such a big deal. I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I just want you to tell me so I could better understand the situation. That's why I didn't make news videos on it, because I just didn't really know what was going on. I just didn't know, honestly. So I can't speak on something that I don't know, because it's just literally misinformation if I'm just spouting dog shit at you, and I don't want to do that. That's not the type of person that I am. So if you know why this was such a big deal, then please educate me. I would really like to know, honestly. So, now, as for, the standings and the teams, the only big upset this week was G2 losing to Schalke, which means Schalke has beaten Fnatic and G2, and there was this big giant Hakuna Matata meme. Now, that's cool with me. The Lion King is my favorite Disney animated movie, so I love that shit. But other than that, Origin went 0-2, Mad Lions looked a little suspect this week, but overall nothing pretty much happened. The only news updates for the LEC is that Medic is stepping back for week 7, which is coming up literally, today at the time of me recording this video. And then you also have the DOS getting subbed out for Deniek for Misfits. Now, Misfits right now are currently in 8th place, and I don't know if they can make playoffs right now. That's just how I'm seeing it right now. A lot of people thought that they would be really strong with Kabe, but Kabe brings his own set of problems as well. And I got this McDonald's frappe right here, so I'm gonna start sipping on this shit when I'm doing a video, But other than that, let's go over some games. So these are the games that ultimately stood out to me as I've been doing these, breakdowns of the weeks for the LEC and the LCS. It's just overall easier to break down few games rather than going over every single team ultimately. But I do know most of the team's playstyles and what their players are doing overall. So we had Mad Lions versus Fnatic. Let me actually speed up some of these games. I should normally do this before the video starts, but you know me, guys. I always forget a lot of shit. And don't worry, I have my LCS, week 7 thoughts and opinions coming up. Don't worry about that for the 2020 LCS Summer Split. It is coming up right after I do this video. Then I'm going to be doing that one. But you guys know me. The LEC has been going through not just the backlash we had yesterday with it. Also, the teams look very suspect in terms of all the macros all over the place. And teams like Origin, Fnatic, and G2 have not been playing that good. Now G2 have their own issues with what happened with Perks, but Fnatic have been looking a little bit more better. But then stumbling against Mad Lions is not really too surprising, because Mad Lions are the best team, ultimately, of the LEC right now, along with Rogue. So, in the game against Mad Lions, Fnatic drafted Cho'Gath, Graves, Orianna, Senna, and Leona. You had Mad Lions taking Renekton, Trundle, Syndra, Ezreal, and Pantheon. We saw a few players, from a lot of the regions actually take on the Pantheon support. I think that Pantheon support is actually a interesting, aggressive support you could use early on to create some pressure. Fnatic were actually decently far ahead, early on. In terms of kills, they weren't really, ahead in gold. The base reason of this game not being won by Fnatic is more or less this composition is a composition that I could see, a Season 5 team playing, minus the Senna because she was not in Season 5. But, it's really weird how Fnatic were up in kills and then, just later on lost the game. It just didn't make any sense, whatsoever. that they, would lose this game. So at right about here, there was some sort of a team fight where it broke out, and then later on, you had Mad Lions ultimately collapsing on them. Nemesis got a decent shockwave off, but it really didn't amount to anything. Karze chipped them away with the True Shot Barrage, thus also prompting, Mad Lions later on to go to the Baron, which, is going to give them the soul, which is what they need. Then you had a Romite on the Renekton, who was really, really popping off on the Renekton, really solid in team fights, landing his stuns correctly. And yeah, Fnatic pretty much just got outscaled all game long. I don't really know what the Cho'Gath is for. Maybe it's just to obviously pair up with the Orianna, knockups into Shockwave, into, collateral damage, which is a pretty good combo. Then you also have the Leona to set that up. So I can see what their composition is doing. And, throughout this team fight right here, they try to go onto Shadow Heat, obviously Zhonyaed. Then you had Humanoid also playing pretty well on the Syndra. Though he was caught out in the side lanes, it was okay from his performance. And anybody on Mad Lions could pretty much be MVP. Psych! No, that's not true. But the person that I would have for my MVP of the LEC 2020 Summer Split would probably have to be either Shadow or Karze or Kaiser. These guys have been playing out of their minds bonkers good. So later on, Mad Lions wins this game and improved to 10-2 on the split. Now, the game that otherwise piqued my interest was Origin versus Fnatic for day 2. Origin took, for this game, Karma, Kha'Zix, Sylas, Ezreal, and Bard. Then you had Fnatic taking Gangplank, Set, Corki, Jhin, and Pyke. So we know that Reckless and Hylissang like to be on these really aggressive bot lanes that don't prefer the scaling. They've been very open about this, how, playing scaling bot lanes can have their issues, but Hylissang on the Pyke looked like a completely different player, and he was actually making plays all around the map. Nuke Duck did not look good on the Sylas. I'm being completely honest here. He did not look good. Reckless on the Jhin looked pretty solid. It was nice seeing him on an ADC that can actually deal some damage early on. Then later on, you could clearly see that Fnatic had the superior macro. It pretty much broke out where Nuke Duck just continuously just kept dying on the Sylas. If he's not going to be playing good on these aggressive mid lane picks, then you might as well just give him Orianna. But you're in this composition where you have to kind of put him into something more aggressive early on. That way he can understand that he has to play these champions if they want to exactly improve. And that's not what happened with this game at all. Jack Troll also has been looking kind of suspect. I don't really understand why they chose to switch out Destiny, but I do understand it from a compositional standpoint with what you are trying to play. But if you're talking about a team basically just needing a new, different, fresh vocal voice, that can work, but Jack Troll wasn't really doing much, and with Nuke Duck consistently getting caught out in the side lanes, it didn't really help out. Giving Hylissang, Pyke, and Reckless Jhin could just result in automatic bans towards future draft phases for Fnatic, which I think is actually pretty good overall. But they've been playing a little bit better. I want to give them credit. They have been playing a little bit better. Bwipo, still kind of suspect, but other than that, they've been playing like they know what they want to do now, but they're still playing at a weird pace of the game, but they can ultimately get leads. You had Bwipo sending off the cannon barrage, and that quickly dissuaded them from even engaging. Nuke Duck was trying so hard to get something done for Origin, but he's too far behind, man. He is too far behind. And then you had actually the best game of the week, which was G2 Esports versus Rogue. If G2 lose this game, they are out of playoffs. Yes, you heard me correct. They are OUT out of playoffs. It's done. OVER over. So I was like, oh my god, G2 have been slumping pretty much all split long, and it's not ultimately all about them, tragedies with some of the players, circumstances based on practice, just a rough split overall. And it got to the point where you're pretty much thinking like Rogue could pull off the impossible by knocking G2 out of playoff contentions, which has never happened in the LEC ever since they came in to the EULCS / the LEC in spring 2016. They've always made playoffs, and that means that this would have been one of the, if not one of the biggest upsets in LEC history moving forward, because you would have knocked out the MSI champion, the 2019 world finalist, the org that has won literally 7 titles since they have been in EU. So that would have been one of the biggest upset in EU history. But you actually saw that through Hansama. He was getting a lot of kills on the Aphelios, but some of his positionings toward the very end of the game didn't really help out. You had Larson popping off. It's actually really astonishing that Rogue lost this game. And it's not that G2 was doing superior team fighting. It was just the fact that Caps ended up stealing a Baron. Yes, their actual playoff chances were hinged on Caps stealing a Baron. I shit you not. If Caps had not stolen that, they'd be out of playoffs right now. Which is, you know, I guess a debate for another day. If Caps did not steal it, would Rogue have won? Probably, because Rogue was in a favorable position to win with their composition. You have the Aphelios, who is really strong, the Azir, who is really strong right now, and you have a 2-0 set. All of Rogue's team was pretty much in the best position to win the game. I think that either the nerves got to them or the jitters, because, oh my god, we're about to knock out G2 from ever even making playoffs, and that would have been crazy, right? But I do think the nerves got to them and they started fumbling. So around, let's say, this point, a team fight breaks out where you actually have Perks at some points getting caught out. I don't know why his ADC play is so suspect, but then you also have them singling out Finn, and if they single out Finn, who is on a tank, he's not going to provide a lot of damage. Yankos actually got a kill into the back line. Kha'Zix is what a lot of people have been picking now to isolate certain ADC targets, and it makes sense overall to isolate a target. Kha'Zix can easily duel an ADC if you get the jump on them, so it makes perfect sense. But this was not a clean game by G2, and hopefully this game is able to knock some sense into them. The fact of the matter is that if they had lost this game, they are out of playoffs. You definitely do not want to see that as a G2 esports fan. I was like, oh my lord, if they lose this game, I would have lost my shit. But they did end up winning the game, and I'm proud of them. So yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Way of Life Esports is signing out, baby. See you guys later. Peace.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.